Tea time.
Tea time.
I just burnt my tongue. Doing well.
I have officially nothing to say.
And I'm just whinging.
Yes. You said you wanted to berate me on camera for 20 minutes.
I did not.
So
I said I could. I didn't say I wanted to.
Oh no, I think there
Because
was.
apparently
I think there was
my
wanting. I think there was
organisational skills are in question.
Or lack thereof. I accused her of organising the pantry autobiographically because I can't
I think it's perfectly
detect any rhyme or reason to it. Like
you're wrong.
the cans along the bottom make some sense, even though I can see from here that they're bowing. This is thrilling content. Let's talk about the organisation. Oh, that being said, there's people that have made fortunes out of organisation. Yeah, well, I appreciate that. I just don't understand how you've organised.
You don't attempt to understand.
I don't need to.
No, you've got me.
As I said, I built. That's the division of labour.
Yeah.
I will build things, and you can go and find things.
Yeah, it's fine. And you have a man's look and go, I can't find something. And I go, this thing right here at the front.
I don't fucking care. I really don't.
Neither do I.
There's bigger things
Except
to worry
when you're
about.
a slob and you leave a trail of destruction like Wreck-It Ralph.
Yeah, well.
So, anywho, no. There's people that have made billions of dollars from
I
organisational
don't think
shit.
they've made billions, but certainly tens of
The home
billions.
edit would be up there.
At a billion. Oh, I don't think a billion.
The two
but
chicks. You know, the ones I'm talking
tens of
about.
millions, sure. Like
The home edit got... They're from Nashville. 2 women. They got bought by Reese Witherspoon's Hello Sunshine. And
Jesus Christ.
yeah, like it's big business. They've got lines
there's
of,
no doubt it.
lines of shit at Walmart.
There's no doubt there's big business. Oh, okay. If you get lines of shit in Walmart, you're heading there.
Yeah. So I said I don't listen to their podcast because that's a bridge too far. It's not. Yeah. No.
Hundreds of millions, yeah. I reckon hundreds of millions would be pushing it, but tens, no problem. No problem at all.
So
That Marie Kondo chick, she'd be worth 10 sticks, wouldn't she?
I'd say so. Well, she's a global name.
Yeah, I've fucking heard of her. So.
If you said the home edit, almost they wouldn't know them by name.
You need a Y chromosome though to know them, wouldn't you? Like I've got no fucking clue.
Yeah, true. Yeah, probably. But yeah.
That's a separate rant. How do you define a woman? Someone who produces large gametes. There you go. Science. Up yours. Move on.
Oh, don't get me started. Yeah. So anyway,
We can save a whole separate rant for the trans community.
So no, today's going well.
It is midday and I haven't done jack. I've had breakfast.
Yeah.
I've gotten out of bed.
I've done things, but now I need to go and do other things. I'm going to paint the side of this container with something.
Our house is made of shipping containers. It's very fashionable. And it's not done because I have any great desire to build things out of shipping containers, but it was done for 2 reasons originally. One, because when we were moving, flying in and out, not living here permanently, the beauty of a shipping container house is the day it arrives, it's to lock up. So you can put a padlock on it and you're done.
We were literally putting our car in it.
Yeah.
And locking it and going.
And a caravan in it. We'd bought a deliberately Shiley's little caravan Percy. Fits in it. It's only 1.8, 1.9
It's
wide.
12 foot.
Even though you ripped the door off at once. She didn't listen to me when I said stop.
I stopped, just not quick enough.
You're an excellent driver, though you do not understand your limits.
Anywho.
What was I going to say? Yeah, so it was built for security, like that way makes it easy to be secure, and then secondly, and far more importantly, long term, is that this place is going to burn down.
Fire. Yeah,
Fire.
Australia.
Yeah, and we're in
a clearing, but
basically a forest clearing.
Yeah.
We're in a decent sized forest clearing now, so most of it, 5 acres of it is clear, and there's nothing really within about it's mostly completely clear within about 30 metres of the buildings.
But that's the other problem with Australia, is that they don't do any backburning anymore. Like,
I've
I
never
have
seen-
not witnessed any here
Never
in Tasmania.
not once.
No. And we're part of the volunteer fire brigade,
They've
and
never
we haven't
done
done any.
No.
So, at least in Sydney they do backburning. I have seen them multiple
Well, in
times.
Sydney, it's nearly... Well, it wasn't that long ago when it
In
nearly
urban areas.
burnt down. Well, where we lived beforehand, it was... Like, my hometown was on fire.
Yeah.
And which is 100 kilometres from Sydney.
I'm not even 100 kilometres, and I've been through 2 bushfires.
Yeah. I've had
where
back in the day being told to...
Evacuated twice.
You've been evacuated. I've been told if we come back, it's get out. So I've been told when in a house, that house that I owned in Braemar, near Mittagong, New South Wales, which was made out of western red cedar and soaked in oil. It was perfect house for the Australian.
It was urban. Except there's a train line and then bush.
Line.
Yeah.
I'm such a cheapskate with houses. I keep buying houses near train lines, but it was disused. It was largely disused. The old loop line, the old Thelmere loop line. So a train would go down that one maybe once a month.
You also had a train behind you at Picton. Do you like trains?
No, it's cheap.
Anywho,
every house has got a train line behind it in Picton because the train line
goes multiple times.
So it's one of the few places.
Interesting.
So if we're going to have a train spotting moment, it's one of the few places where you go through Picton twice when you go through the train because it basically loops around because it's all the bloody mountains and things there. So
and I did enjoy that because once a month, the train works at Thelmere is the big. What you call it, museum for steam trains and nerds and all really interesting things, and the old boys who've still got steam licenses. I think there's only one left, but once a month they'd get a steam train out and you could hear it coming and it'd go right past the back of our house, and that was interesting. So
we, thanks to the terrible state of public transport in New South Wales, I mean the how many trains. And the line was much higher than the house.
Yeah,
like
you
we
looked
were down
up,
it. So you'd notice it if you were sitting out the back. You go, oh yeah, a train, but a tiny little 2-car.
Yeah, it wasn't very big.
A 2-car
country train.
Diesel would go past what?
Every couple of hours, if not
at most.
More, yeah.
And then you'd definitely get
the timetable sucks.
And you'd get one
freight train.
One freight train in the morning.
Yeah. Because I used to have to wait on the platform. They'd put the freight train in front of the commuter train.
Again, it made no sense. Why are they not? Why aren't there dedicated freight?
Cha-chunk, cha-chunk.
It's again the like why God why? But yeah, like
God forbid we have some forethought.
Yeah, like
let's build 4 lines, not 2.
Yeah, or let's just build a new one. Like
anyway.
But, yeah. Anyway.
So anywho, fire here. So that's another thing. Because Tassie is prone to fire as well. They've had their. Was it last year or the year before? They had their fair share of.
This has definitely been burnt.
Logged and burnt.
Which is another huge rant for another time. Again, if we ever have topics of. So. This place was absolutely razed to the ground. You can see it with the old satellite imagery with the Google.
Yep.
Earth
obliterated
time, where in 1994 this was absolutely obliterated. There was nothing there.
No animals
and
left.
Then up until very recently, and I believe it's changed, council had decided this was all priority habitat and it was untouched wilderness. And it's like
you killed it,
despite the fact that you can come here and see that there isn't a single tree standing that's older than 20 years old.
No.
They
took them all or burnt them all or killed them all.
The whole thing was absolutely... You haven't lived
face of the moon.
Yeah, it looks like the face of the moon. They raise it to nothing. What's left they burn, and then they
poison it, which drives me fucking mental.
Well, they don't poison the ground. They poison if they replant. They use 1080 in carrots or whatever medium they use to soak the 1080 in to kill the animals so they don't eat the plants like the new little trees. Which, as we know, you know why they do it, because there's no doubt that there wouldn't be a tree left. Because anything in our, I was going to say compound, it's not a compound, house paddock. In the house paddock, there right now, because I haven't finished the fencing, there is not a blade of grass.
No.
It is all dirt.
No, if you leave anything unattended...
It gets eaten.
Because we've got plants in a cage. High security garden. Yeah.
There is a cage, like it's an old dog run, that's got plants in it, and it is surrounded by an electric fence.
Yes, because it needs it.
So that comes in again, another topic of discussion. is
We
this
should be
where
writing these down.
Yeah, I was going to say, is this where we're laying out a thing? Don't make notes, for fuck's sake.
You know I like a list.
Oh, Christ. Anyway, the point was, this place was very different when it was run by guns. When I lived here the first time,
Now,
so 20
guns
years
means
ago.
the name.
Gunn, which was, it is now defunct, and it's amazing that it went tits up like it did, was a massive forestry company in Tasmania.
It still exists.
I'm sure it still exists
Does
in
it?
some way, but guns as you knew it is gone. And
Production company. Yeah, it's still there.
yeah, but it
Was a major forestry enterprise.
it is a shadow of its former self. So it used to run politics in here, and if you know your Australian politics quite well, that was the thing that won.
Liquidation in 2013.
There you go. Now, dear reader, tell me which year was it? I can't remember, but one of the election. No. I know when it was founded. It was founded back in
1875.
in the 19th century by Ronald Gunn, where there is who was a member of the Fellow of the Royal Society.
The fourth name here.
And yes, there's lots of guns. Gunn. He was a botanist. There is a statue of him in the park, in City Park in town.
Is it? In the conservatory?
Near it. I
City
walked
Park's
past it
lovely
yesterday.
if you come into Launceston. Yes, well, my favourite, side note, my favourite park is Prince's Park, but it's full of fucking homeless, revolting people.
It is an open drug scene,
Yeah, it's revolting.
as Michael Schellenberger would say. It is not a homeless encampment. It is an open drug scene.
But City Park's also lovely.
City Park doesn't have that much in the way of homelessness.
No.
But Prince's Park is kind of where they've
Set up camp because they're close to the city mission.
close to the city mission, close to the dare not say its name, but the Aboriginal mission, the Aboriginal Land Council thing
Whatever
that's
that is.
there.
There's a bottle shop close by, so that's very handy.
It's very, very handy.
Yeah, and the cops do nothing.
Yeah, and you've definitely seen. It'd be if one was so inclined, which one is not, for the record, Your Honour. If you set up a trail cam there,
God.
the shit you'll see, because the shit we've seen women like this. There is literally 10 toilets in that park that are open 24 hours, and they're very good. Well, they were.
No, they're not anymore.
Yeah, they were very good.
Yeah, they were brand fucking new. And it was a bank of 6 toilets, and it's like a council garden keeper's shed. They're all new and lovely and clean, and now they're...
I don't think they're I think they become by the end of the day. But
they've still got all the same fittings on the wall. They haven't ripped them off. But I went into one the other day and went, I'm not touching shit in there. And I went to the next one. Yeah. Whereas usually they were all. They're nice
fairly indestructible though. Like they are the traditional Australian brick shit house.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, it depends on how often they're cleaned and all this.
Anywho.
But generally, the two points that are there though is that generally toilets are pretty good in Tasmania.
Yes.
They do exist, and
Very
they're
good.
pretty clean, and not usually pretty good.
24
Public
hours
toilets, 24 hours. Yet less than 100 metres away, these people are, and they still openly shit and piss, men and women, in the park. Can't walk over there,
and it smells.
Or they've gotten to the point that they've destroyed it by 10 o'clock. And
because I was going to my car one day, and I looked to my left, and there was a woman peeing, pants.
You talking to me or them?
Both. Woman peeing with her pants down. I've told you this. I'm just telling. But yeah, it's just I actually rang someone and went, "Can you come and sort this out?" And they went, "Oh, we'll send someone." And it's like, no, you don't.
But they don't, because they don't really have the notion of council rangers here that we've talked about, because we've explained it to them. Why don't you go on a fact-finding mission to the Radisson in Sydney and have a very nice lunch, and then go and talk to somebody about the council rangers.
Yeah, they do parking as well as deal with people.
Because all they do, because here it's just give us the revenue. They just deal with parking and that's it, but they don't deal with the... Well, again, you are asking a bit for them to deal with the decay of Western society, but they can certainly move people along. Guys, you can't stay here. But again,
and I'm not entirely sure where they're going to go, but I'd prefer if they weren't...
Most of me goes, who cares?
I know, but they've got to go somewhere.
They do have to go somewhere, and they do have places... You'll get cancelled. I'm going to be like that Asian guy that I like so much.
On TikTok. He's good.
Yeah, it's like to a workhouse.
Yeah.
But no, there's a zillion places for them to go, and where they should be going is... So they've got there is basically, in Launceston, a whole city block devoted to services for the homeless and the downtrodden and the less fortunate, and I don't begrudge that at all, apart from the fact that they're bullies when it comes to taking over that area. Like they're quite... Cause I have a friend there that owns a gym there, and they're likely getting squeezed out, but you know, shit happens. But, and I don't know the full story and blah 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 blah. But yeah, it's all there. Like there's employment facilities.
There's a GP. There's a clinic.
There's a free GP that fucking everybody else doesn't get. There's certainly the places where they sleep,
but they
get billeted.
Keep them out during the middle of the day, is what my understanding is.
Yeah, but that's where they should.
Which is why then they go and sit in the park. And again, it's not. I don't care if you want to be discreet and have a drink in a park. Have at it, but they're not discreet. They're not having one drink in the park.
And it's not equitable. It's not fair to the other park users, because that's the thing, as always. And not that this is a hill that we need to fight and die on. But if I sat there and opened a beer, I'd get fined.
Oh yeah.
But hilariously, if I didn't wash for 2 days, pulled my prick out.
Go and sit on that side with them, you'd be fine.
Yeah, and went and sat with them. Oh, you poor.
You poor thing.
You poor thing.
Yeah,
They're there. You know.
You just sit there and get your... What the guy on TikTok say? You just sit there and get your $1,000 a fortnight. You'll be fine.
Yeah. But that's the thing, you know. I think they should be helped. Like leaving them there to just drink themselves
get worse
to death, and to talk. And some of them have died horribly. Like old mate. This was probably a year ago now.
Yeah.
Burnt to death. Yep. Set fire to himself accidentally.
Yep.
You know, and find out the hard way that if you don't wash and
you're
wearing
to cook
rags,
outside.
Yep, and you've got horrible oily old rags that you're flammable.
Whooshka.
Yeah, and it's not the movies. You get a 2 or 3 second high intensity burn to 30% of your body. That's it. You're going to die. That's a wrap. See you later.
Not to mention how fucking painful that is.
Oh, and hideous and horrible, and you know, no one deserves that.
No.
But that's the thing,
and they're all.
If there was actual genuine compassion, and which I'm 100% for, and I'm not talking about locking them into a workhouse entirely, but they need to be.
Got to be cruel to be kind.
I think there's a bit of that. I don't think you need to be cruel. I think you need to be realistic. You need to be practical. And you sitting here drinking yourself a new arsehole every day in a park isn't helping anyone.
No.
Least of all yourself. But
I'd be interested in knowing...
definitely, just to finish my point, and then I'll listen to you, is there's definitely issues and considerations around liberty, right? The ones that are, with the exception of the ones that are mad, which they don't do either. Like if you're walking around town mumbling to yourself and trying to throw yourself and others into traffic, you should be sectioned under the Mental Health Act.
But they don't have that anymore.
No. And the amount of that goes back to the conversation we're having on here a while ago with the 2 women with the pram.
Yeah.
Jesus H. Christ.
Yeah.
So there needs to be levels, and there needs to be, like there is with all these things you see coming out of Scandinavia and other different jails and things at work, there needs to be more privileges the better you're doing for things, and then less when you fuck up.
Incentive a go of it.
At the end of the day, if you want to go walk about and not participate in society, that's fine. You have at it, but you can't do it in a park in the middle of town.
Yeah.
If you want to
and you only get the minimum assistance.
There has to be levels.
That's what I mean. You don't get
because
don't you have to do shit for it anyway?
I don't know.
Again, I'm not.
We're not across it. You know, maybe there is.
There was work for the doll and all that kind of crap. Do you have to
But they're below that.
Right. Okay.
You know, that's like level 3, and they're at level 1.
But what I was going to say, I'd be interested in not that I give a shit, but I really don't give a shit. Go and die in a park for all I care. I don't give a shit. Die in a fire. He did.
It's difficult.
It doesn't affect me
when
until
it's in front of you. You do.
Yeah.
When it's in front of you, you do.
It annoys me because it's my favourite park. That's my level of. It's very pretty. It's got a lovely fountain. I'd like to sit there and not have revolting.
This is. I'm gonna be talking. Thinking, oh my god, the entitlement and all the rest of it. But then you go, I pay 3 sets of rates in this shit town.
Yeah, I am fucking entitled, and I do have minimum standards. And go fuck yourself. So should you.
Yeah.
No. Anyway, but I was going to say, I'd be interested in knowing how much funding there is available to the city mission, for example, and how it gets allocated and what services they use it for.
I think they're pretty efficient. I do think there's definitely websites and lists of things that talk about efficiency, and I think they are pretty efficient, because those sorts of things...
Whether they're underfunded, whether they're overfunded, I don't know. But there is a huge chunk of people in Tasmania that are on funding. Jesus.
It's actually a third, and I'd say it's closer to 2/3.
Yeah. Like
Tasmania.
We're the odd ones out who, because we don't have a healthcare card.
I'll tell this story. So years and years ago, Charlie and I were in Bowral, and for those who don't know, Bowral in New South Wales is like Double Bay, but in the country. So there's a lot of money in Bowral, and anyone who's anyone has a holiday house, or like not a holiday house, a country estate in Bowral,
a winter property,
and you know. Anyone you know with more than 10 sticks has got something. Hey, I've got a little place down there.
Yeah.
And we were in the...
We'd been to the dentist, because our dentist is in Bowral.
That's what it was.
Still is.
So I was thinking, what were we looking? Yes. And you had a script for some prophylactic antibiotics.
Something.
So, and we went in there, and
the
pharmacy, like in a really, like in Springett's Arcade, like
like the Strand Arcade in Sydney.
Yeah, it's marble floors and
it's lovely.
Yeah, very nice. And she went in there, and the woman, obviously, because she asks this as a part of their thing, is like, "Oh, have you got a healthcare card?" And Charlie goes, "Oh yeah, I think I do." Okay, and she's finding the thing, and all the rest of it, and my eyes are rolling in my head, and I'm going, and she's going, "Is this it?" She pulls out like the top tier HCF private insurance. Is this the healthcare? And she's like going, and I'm going, "You'll have to excuse my wife. She's out of touch.
Healthcare card.
She has no
private health insurance card."
And they're like, "Hey."
No, not that. Cool. Anywho, so I've learnt that I don't have a healthcare card.
No, you don't. You would know if you had a healthcare card, because that was always if you were on any kind of proper pension, you get a healthcare card.
I get it now. I understand.
And the healthcare card, I don't know what it is now, but it certainly caps the cost of your scripts down to nearly nothing. So, a long time ago, I had a girlfriend / wife whose mother had a healthcare card, and back then all of her prescriptions, no matter what it was $2.
Well, that was like my nan had the gold veteran card. I can't remember what it was, but it was
might have done something like that.
Again, World War II. Both of them were in the armed forces. Veteran card thing probably doesn't exist anymore, but she used to have to for her pills and stuff. Because
so the bottom, it's probably closer to $10 these days. But as you might realise, stuff on the PBS is actually capped at about $42 now, $42, $43. So that, again,
don't know that.
Out of touch.
I'm not touch wood. I'm not an overly sickly person, so
no, neither am I really.
Luckily, fortunately, I do try and do things to make myself not sick.
Well, I'm going to get off as I continue to trend downwards in fatness.
I'll put that on my list.
I will get off.
Why are people so poor, and why can't they afford good food?
They don't want good food.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you actually go and buy all the shit that's on special...
I've forgotten the point I was going to finish, so
sorry.
It's always annoying when I rewatch these and just go,
food.
Oh, God. Well, for the record, for posterity, the reason why people don't do that thing, the big difference is that they don't have your brain.
Which you've told me, I know, but
many,
they should teach
reasons.
it.
They should, yep, they should. And I think they do an intensive... things, and that comes back to the situation like in the park.
Go and
it's
teach
like if you're
them.
If you're serious about it, you need to do it intensively. It's going to be prohibitively expensive, because it'd be like you'd have a caseworker where it was like one-on-one, nearly, one-on-one, 1-on-2, 1-on-3. It wouldn't be more than 5. It certainly couldn't be 50.
No, God, they'd get ripped apart.
Yeah, but go down there and hell, send the fucking Christians down there. Let those idiots go down there and try and sure. They'll take 10%, but tithing's probably more cheaper than everything else. Send them down. That's an interesting thought. I might do that the next time I feel like being a wag. The next time I see people setting up the JW, saying like, "Tell me about God." It's like, guys, pro tip or helpful suggestion. Like, I'm actually not taking the piss for once. Why don't you go down the park?
Yeah.
Why don't you go down the park? Take a sandwich with you. Go down the park.
There's people down there that need you.
You could stand up there and you sing Kumbaya or Abide With Me while they're fucking doing meth. Why don't you go and help them? And you know what you'll get, possibly?
No, thank you.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
Just like, which I had explained to me by the Lions Club. This is where I get sued. But a person, obviously not representative of their official views. But one person going, was it Lions or Rotary? Here, so this, I'm already hedging to make it harder to sue me.
I'm not sure the difference of Lions and Rotary. I know Rotary is more of a liberal, politically aligned...
Yeah. They're both. Well, they're both. Let's tell you, they're both pretty right wing. There's the Lions Club and there's Rotary, and traditionally they were always
the Toastmasters and all that shit.
They build parks and put improve things in and put lighting in and all these sorts of stuff. It's fundraising for the middle and upper classes.
Yeah,
it's
good.
Charity. And I remember once somebody.
I'm part of that. Good.
I remember once 20 years ago, because they had a young person's thing. Again, I fucking swear it was probably a swingers club. I'm so getting sued. But because there was Rotaract, which was the younger version of it. But I had the older version. So, you should come and... He was fucking panhandling for something, tin cup rattler. And he was like sort of saying, he's going, you should... And I said, why should I donate to you? And he's going, well, I'll tell you why. That's a very good question. Because we don't waste money on fucking deros. We spend our money on good people that want good things, that want nice things. Fuck the other people. It's like, just saw him. He didn't bring a soapbox with him, but if he had, he would have fucking climbed on it as bad as...
You're banging the table.
I fixed the sound. Next, I'll fix the video. Yes. Maybe if he's got a podcast, we could...
I was going to say, I don't 100% agree with him, but I 50% agree with him. Because,
on all of it, and I don't know how this is degenerated into a discussion of the homeless, on all of it, it absolutely requires a long-form conversation, which I'm trying to scrabble back towards for us, is that, when you're first confronted by it, or constantly confronted by it, as we are in the bar, it's like, I just want them all to die in a fire. I want you all to go away, and I don't want to see it, and I don't care what happens to you. That's initially. Of course I care, to a point, but I look at it from the point of view of everything you're doing now isn't working, and it's not helping, and it's not helping them. Makes you feel great. You know what the great feeling, the great thing about the current views of all of it? Because fuck me, views have changed. 20 years ago, there's no way people could sit there in a park and in an open drug scene. No way. Now, you know what it requires? It makes people feel better about it, and it costs nothing to just go, they're
just let them go.
Just let them go, and that you're discriminating against them. Because it's not just let them go. It's you're discriminating them against. Because it's literally, it's not happening. It's like, come with me. You want to see a homeless dick? Let's go and look at one. Because you could sit down there, and within half an hour, you're going to see cock and balls in the middle of town. Oh no, it doesn't happen like that. Bullshit. You want to see a woman shit in a park? It happens. But none of the, set up a trail cam.
The interesting, none of the, whatever you're doing, that's my frustration as well, is that it's all lip service, because day in, day out for years, nothing has changed.
Well, what I'll say, it's one of two things, right? It's either, and I know which way I'd put a bet, but
and it's the same people. It's not like there's newbies coming in to take the seat of the other one.
And we're not trying anything different.
I recognise the fucking deros in the park.
That's what you're talking about. I thought you were saying the same people helping them.
Oh, it's probably the same people helping as well, because they want to listen to anyone else. But I recognise the people in the park. If they told me their name, I'd know them all by name. Not that I talk to any of them.
Well, our barman knows them by name.
Well, yeah.
He knew both of them, because two of them have died recently.
The poor guy who died, he knew. It's been more than one, hasn't it?
Oh, yeah, the other one just dropped dead.
Yeah, that's right. I remember you saying. Heart attack or something. Anyway.
Stroked out or anything.
But yeah, it's like, it's the same people who've been sitting there for years, and all you fuckers just walk past them. Yeah. Like, I do the same, because I'm not meant to be helping them.
Well, anyway.
I'm just going to get yelled at.
Oh, yeah.
But someone's job... It is to help these people, and they're not being helped.
Well, there's a few points there, and the one thing is, well, that's what I'd say. To be honest, because again, we, as this podcast continues, you'll see that our levels of research on general subjects is approaching zero. One of two things is either happening: either it's all lip service and it's all horseshit. That's option A, or option B, it is a big problem. They are really trying, but it's so bad that's as far as they're getting.
Maybe.
So I don't know. I genuinely don't know, but you can generally see there is a problem in the park, and we have definitely raised that issue with the authorities on several occasions where we've seen someone getting the shit knocked out of them, where there's been people naked and running around.
Public indecency.
Like, when it's really bad, like, yeah, if someone's fucking scratching their balls, fine, whatever. But,
Don't
like,
care.
you know, there's a guy sitting on the bench wanking
in
front of kids.
Fuck me.
And it's like, who do I call?
Because, on that side, you've got all homeless, drug scene, don't know what the fuck's going on there on one side, and then the rest of the park is thoroughly middle class. Little kids having picnics with mum, people walking their dogs. Like,
But I've seen guys wandering around there with knives, like out of their fucking head.
The last time I was in there, some guy was screaming at another guy, and they were almost punching each other because they were having some altercation. Yeah,
Bum Fights was a good podcast.
But yeah,
do we have a field trip?
No.
But
anywho,
it won't be that interesting when it's all
homeless.
gross. I don't know how either, because we're entitled assholes.
Apparently.
And we've been slightly
do you know what we are? People
we've
who
been
ask a lot of
slightly
questions.
Disconvenienced. Why is my brain not
Convenienced.
It's the Pfizer. It's
If you say long COVID, I'm going to stab you with something. Anywho.
Anyway, but in summary, just so it is rounded, yeah, they should be helped. They should be helped, and they should be helped more intensively. But I think society as a obviously certainly local society is mostly going, we're fine where it is there. But I do think there is definitely a problem politically with a lot of certainly local councillors worried about being cancelled, because there's a whole heap of people that know even less about it than us who have it, which would be difficult.
Do this.
Yep, that will complain.
That's all
and going,
they do.
Will be going.
Well, you get off your ass and go and help them.
Yeah.
If you're so worried about there being discrimination, you go and make sure there isn't.
But they're not talking about helping them. They're talking about how dare you have that opinion.
I'm just offended that you...
I'm offended. I'm offended on behalf of them.
Everyone.
They don't know. Because I can tell you, 90% of the time down there, most of the people there, they're not on planet Earth. They're like... So, go, you know...
Yeah. Don't know.
But, and it's always the thing they'll complain about and all the rest of it. But...
prove me wrong.
How's your you know, and then one of these assholes comes shopping in your house at 2:00 in the morning,
breaks into your car.
Are we going to go and
or accidentally smashes something because he's flinging something around, or accidentally breaks his head on your face? Like, come on,
repeatedly hurts his fist.
Yeah,
punching in the head. You know, it's
check the Tasmanian news to see what's happening.
Yes. Anyway, so that's a mild rant on. We went from, what did we go from?
I don't know how I got there.
I had nothing to talk about this morning.
It's a free-flowing conversation.
We started banging on about your cupboard, and then we got on about
open
drug scenes in Launceston.
Yeah. I can't even find the...
There's a couple of them. There's like 3 or 4 of them. And the only place where I actually have seen where there's been a little less wokedom is when they have decided to set up camp in front of businesses during the day.
Yes.
And that's where some people have come out and just gone... They've obviously had a quiet word to people that actually do have the authority to move these people on, and have probably said, well, we're either going to take legal action against you, or we're going to take physical action against them, but either way we're all going to be in the news next week, so here's your opportunity to do something. So there were 2
people sitting outside the adult shop on the weekend that the coppers were talking to and moving along.
Yeah. Just
sitting on the footpath. And then there was that dude that was sleeping on the step across the road on York Street on the abandoned
there's
hotel.
been I saw them all packed in. I saw a little campment in Neil Pitts yesterday.
God, really?
Yeah, because it was originally an old cinema, so the entranceway is quite deep, so it's quite sheltered.
Again,
if I was going to be, it'd be perfect spot.
How much fucking money are you giving to things and there's not enough beds for the number of people?
Well, if we're going to continue on with this one, the other thing that I don't get, like I really don't understand, and is it a case of people absolutely are utterly bereft? One of 3 things: they're utterly bereft of imagination, they're utterly bureaucratic, so it can't happen, or 3, they don't want to, right? And I saw an article yesterday talking about some woman that was homeless, and they talked about...
Define homeless.
Living in a tent somewhere.
Right.
Okay, so she had moved into a tent, and she was saying this, but this was like one of the comments that I made on Twitter, on my personal Twitter, saying that complex health issues must be the new journalist code for barking mad or utterly drug fucked,
Right.
because they say she has complex health issues, which I think is code for, you know, she's a fucking loon, or she's
Meth head.
a meth head, or something bad's going on, which is difficult to manage. And it's like, I looked at it and saying, after the Second World War, we had Nissen huts. Get some Nissen huts. Like, just get a, like, have they tried it? I don't know, but like, there was certainly a big encampment on the showground down in Hobart that was there for some time. But I mean, let me finish.
Yep.
But why don't we just clear a fucking field? I've got one. Put up 30 Nissen huts. Put in a security guard.
Yeah.
You know,
I agree 100%. However,
and just go, right, here you go. It's open for business now, because then you go, right, there's no homelessness. If you need a bed, there's one here. We've got 1,000 beds here.
Yeah.
Like, do the Chinese build a hospital in a week? Like, literally, bring in the army.
3 meals a day.
You know, but
Shower block.
Is it bureaucracy?
But
or it doesn't meet minimum standards, or we haven't thought about it, or we don't want it.
No, they're building permanent things for them.
Yeah, that it's as slow as balls.
Yeah.
They've been building them for 6 months.
Yeah, permanent things. But that comes back to my point of, it's not meant to be permanent.
No.
You're meant to move. You're meant to come back into society and be back to normal. You're not just meant to, here's your homeless house because you're homeless.
Yeah, congratulations.
Yeah, this is yours forever. No. You should be doing things to make your situation better.
But that was another discussion we had where we were saying, where we were talking about that, and it's just like, it also doesn't have to be nice.
No, because you don't want to stay there forever.
It needs to be a minimum standard. My argument is the minimum standard now, it needs a neighbours rating of 6, and it's got to be...
Go fuck yourself.
Fuck off. It's just got to be...
Roof,
it's just
floor,
got to be,
food,
roof.
Shower.
The door's got to...
Toilet.
Yep.
That's it.
There's got to be a working bathroom.
Lock.
There's got to be access to a working bathroom. You've got to be able to lock your door, so you've got to be safe.
Yep.
You need the bottom bit of Maslow's hierarchy. You need food, air, water, a locking door, cleanish sheets.
Yep.
It should be like a fucking 1-star hotel in Nice.
Dormitory.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah. And
cells even.
And I'm not talking about, and we're not talking.
But don't make it a prison.
And I'm not talking about the drug fucked homeless, right? Because that's a different story.
Different
I'm talking about homeless.
Yeah.
The
poor single mother and her kids who are, I read that this morning, who are desperately looking for something on the Rentals Tasmania Facebook page, you know. I'm a single mother. No, she put up a thing, single mother with I don't know how many children, with a caravan looking for a paddock to rent.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck me dead.
Then
Jesus, she should go into one of those.
Or as I said, a field.
Yeah.
So if I was in charge, I'd give it a try, genuinely give it a trial and say, right, we're going to do this for 3. If you could do it, this is how tech companies do it. Right, we're going to do that. We're going to try the following. We're going to try it for 3 years, and we're going to collect some data, and at the end of it, we're going to have a go no go, and we're going to make mistakes, and you basically come up all front and go,
it's not perfect.
There's going to be it is going to be the perfect is not going to be the enemy of the good. It's going to be adequate. It's going to be new. Are people going to die there? Yep. Are people going to get injured there? Yep.
People die and get injured every day.
Absolutely. Is someone going to get raped? Yep.
Probably.
Yep.
Because people get raped every day.
It sucks. Yep. Yeah. It really sucks.
People fall down and die every day.
Yep. But are they going to have the access to shelter and things? Yep.
And the facilities that they need, so the services.
That's right.
Education.
Field, security. Intensive. Hi, how are you? Welcome aboard. Why are you here?
Yeah. What can we do to make you not be here?
What? Yeah, we don't want you.
Yeah.
It'd be really nice if you had your own place.
And I think there'd have to be time limits there as well.
There'd have to be rules.
That's what I mean.
There's got to be rules. And maybe... Well, but what I would say, which would be fair, is the time... So that would be...
You have to be doing
that
things
would be the
to extend your time.
Yeah, you'd have to contribute.
No, I don't mean like upkeep and stuff. I mean you'd have to be going
to the counselling. You'd have to not let it go backwards.
You'd have to go to if counselling was a thing, you have to go to your counselling, you have to go to your education program, you have to do that. And if you're not doing that, then you can't stay here for much longer because you're not following the rules.
I don't think what you would have to do, I think, is should be
boarding school.
I think it should be more like the Snowy River scheme. where they had things for new immigrants that you did. And hilariously, up until the 70s, you should see on YouTube, I'll have to see if I can find a link, like where they'll have...
We need show notes.
The video showing, like, and this was like 1972, like, not that long ago, like 50 years ago. They're going, when you come to Australia, first of all, you'll need to see this person, and they'll set you up with temporary accommodation.
Yeah, this is the process that you follow.
And there's a process that you're going to go through. There's a beginning, a middle, and an end to it, and you're going to work your way through it.
Like going into the army
and
or the
at the
navy.
end, you're going to
go and see the dude and you get your uniform, then you go and see the dude and you get your accommodation, then you go and see the dude and you get your food ticket, and then you go and see your dude and like dun dun dun. Yeah.
I don't know, but
Are we simplifying this?
I'm sure we are, but it's because they make it. But that's because they make it more complicated. Oh, what are we going to do about cis male trans lesbians that are a thing? And it's just like, who cares? We're talking about let's save the majority of people, not cater just to the fucking nutty fringes that makes the whole thing unworkable. The majority of it.
Yeah.
So as you say, just people. I can't find somewhere to live. Well, here's somewhere where you can go. Yeah. It ain't great.
Yeah.
But you're not going to die of exposure.
Yeah. You're
not going to die in a cooking fire.
No.
You're not going to get wet. It's going to be okay.
And if you have allowances for animals.
No.
Oh, come on.
Your dog gets shot in the face as you walk through the gate.
No, because a lot of homeless people have animals.
Which are half of the problem.
Well... I'd cater for
Let's
that.
put in your... Let me
and
have
a lot
my
of people
fantasy.
can't find rentals because they've got animals and then they get donated.
Because they buy the... This isn't, again, they don't have your brain. This isn't them choosing an animal and, and I'm going to look after it. There's all the rest of it. This is, someone left this behind, or the kids brought this home, or...
Not always.
In a rush... in a rush of blood to the head.
That would be my allowance.
Yeah, well... So then we can have roaming dogs and cats.
No. You have different sections.
You may have a fish in a bowl, and you may call it Rover.
Ferret.
No vermin. And you may...
I got a present this morning from the cat. I told you that, didn't I?
Yes, a rat.
Yeah, a rat. Good puss.
You know what you can have? You could have a camp pet. How about you have a petting zoo? And I'm not being facetious.
No.
Like you have a camp.
No, you
cats,
just have.
They'd be incidental. You're not allowed to bring
unit for a single human, or then a human with a child, and then a human with a fur child.
You were doing so well.
Anywho,
it's not catering.
42.
There right. You are. You're catering to the edges, which makes the whole thing more complicated. No, middle humans done. Thank you. You can have another field run by somebody else. That's a fucking
fine. Me.
Menagerie.
Yep, that's fine.
See, this is the problem.
No, it's not. Fuck you.
Well, again, do you concede this is where it's like, no, I'm not turning this off, and you fucking will agree with me. But anyway, you can see how do you concede that would complicate things further?
Yes.
Right. Can you see how that would cause much trouble?
Yes. However,
it's a lovely thought.
It's a nice to have.
And it's a lovely thought, and it's a lovely
want,
thought that
need.
everybody, yes, a big want. But what I was going to say, which would actually be more interesting, I think, is that pets will come naturally, and they would be pets to the area. Like
animals are calming.
They are all of those things. And they also cause fights and arguments and shit everywhere, which is what we're trying to make it a less shit environment.
That'd be phase 3.
Okay. Well, you can move.
Phase 1, humans.
Well, in your thing where we're processing humans, that once you get to this thing, well, maybe you can have a pet.
If there wasn't a problem, we wouldn't have to process humans.
But you know when you can have a pet? When you get out of the fucking Nissan Hut area.
I know, but what do you do with your pet in the meantime?
I'm sorry.
Wrong. Anywho, I don't know how we got onto this, but all right.
All right, we'll leave on disagreeing. Yep. So what's that shelf? Was it Marie Kondo and the homeless?
Yeah, it's a broad-ranging discussion today.
I'll have to look back and see what we actually discussed.
Organisational skills, which is perfectly fine.
Know.
There's friggin' labels. I don't understand what your problem is.
I'm so going to put a photo of that up. No, I'm not actually.
Woman who lured man under guise of selling him drugs jailed for manslaughter. As you do.
Here locally.
Yeah. ABC News.
Anyway, we are finishing this discussion. We're not starting another one. We will be back soon.
Gotta go and do something.
Off you go, my children. Beware of wolves. Kept his pets in Shiley's homeless shelter. The look.
I am going to stab you with something.
Eventually, yes.
Yes.
Yes, you are.
Jesus.